Certainly. Let me craft a compelling, emotionally charged story following your detailed instructions. Title: The Land I Reclaimed. I remember the day I told them. I was 16, standing in the middle of the dusty driveway, clutching a tattered notebook filled with sketches and plans. I told my family I wanted to become a landscape architect, that I wanted to transform barren lands into lush, vibrant ecosystems. But they just laughed. My father, arms crossed, scoffed. That's stupid. You're dreaming about fairy tales. You think you can turn dirt into paradise? Dreamers are the— My mother shook her head, eyes filled with disappointment. You'll just end up starving like every other fool chasing illusions. Better get a real job before it's too late. My siblings teased me relentlessly, calling me the crazy gardener, the fool with dirt under his nails. The ridicule stung, but I clung to my dream. I knew deep down that this was my purpose. I was determined to prove them wrong, even if I had to do it alone. For years, I studied everything I could about ecology, soil health, and sustainable landscapes. I saved every penny I earned from odd jobs to buy tools and seedlings. I traveled across the country, transforming abandoned plots into thriving ecosystems. Barren patches of earth turned into green sanctuaries. I worked tirelessly, facing droughts, failures, setbacks. But every setback only hardened my resolve. Eventually, my efforts gained recognition. A conservation group hired me to restore a vast, neglected piece of land, an old, empty stretch of dirt scorched by years of neglect and written off by everyone as hopeless. I saw the potential buried beneath the dust, the promise in the rubble. I poured my heart into it. I removed debris, fortified the soil, planted trees, created wetlands, and nurtured life where there was only death. It wasn't easy. Money was tight, and nature threw everything it had at me. Yet slowly, the barren land came alive. Birds returned, streams grew clearer, grass turned lush, and then, after 5 years, I stood on the edge of what was once a wasteland and saw a thriving, breathing ecosystem. The land, once a symbol of neglect, was now a testament to resilience, growth, and hope. I'd done it. I'd transformed despair into— Today, I returned home, my real home, the land of my childhood, where the weight of my family's doubt still hung in the air. I'd achieved what they said was impossible. Wall Street or corporate jobs wouldn't have gotten me here. But this was mine. I parked my truck on the old driveway, and as I stepped out, I could hear the familiar voices echoing in my mind. Those cruel words, the laughter, the dismissiveness. Yet I knew what I had become. I was no longer the crazy gardener, no longer the foolish dreamer they mocked. I was a creator, a healer of the earth. Then I did something that shook the foundation of their world. I led them, my family, out to the very land I had rebuilt. They looked at me with suspicion, eyes filled with curiosity and skepticism. As we stepped onto the dirt, I pointed across the lush expanse. Trees towering, flowers bursting, wetlands teeming with life. This is what I built, I said softly. From nothing, from your doubt and ridicule. They looked at the vibrant landscape, their faces slowly shifting from disbelief to stunned silence. My father, a man hardened by years of hard labor, took a tentative step forward. His eyes brimmed with something I'd never seen before. Perhaps shame, perhaps awe. "You said I'd fail," I continued, "that I was wasting my life. But I proved you wrong, not just with words, but with this." Suddenly, my mother reached out, grabbing my arm. Her voice cracked. "We never understood. We never saw the worth in your dream. We thought you were just being stubborn, foolish." But I cut her off gently. "It's okay. You didn't see it then." But I needed to do this for myself, to prove that even in the face of ridicule, hope, perseverance, and a little dirt can change everything. The silence was heavy, but then my siblings, standing nearby, began to nod. A few whispered apologies, shame painted across their faces. And in that moment, I realized something profound. I had turned their mockery into acknowledgement. Their doubt had fueled my fire, and my success had stripped away every ounce of their contempt, replacing it with quiet respect. It was the kind of victory that leaves you breathless, the kind that whispers, no, screams, that perseverance, passion, and unwavering belief can transform even the most barren of lands and hearts. As I looked at my family, I knew I had finally reclaimed not just this land, but my dignity, my purpose, and my voice. I had turned a ridiculous dream into a living testament that resilience and hope are the truest forces of change. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm golden glow over the thriving landscape, I smiled. Because I knew this wasn't just about planting trees. It was about planting seeds. Seeds of hope, of redemption, of understanding. And I had sown them well. End! Exclamation mark.